Hey everyone, so I am in Boston for a 4-day weekend with my husband. So excited to take you along with us as we see the city, eat lots of great food, do some shopping, and have a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll get to see my family as well while I'm up here, but whatever we do, I'll talk to you guys about later. So with that, let's get going.
So first up is going to be our room. We once again stayed in the Bostonian Hotel. And here we have the walk-in closet, which was a decent size. And then we also have a walk-in shower. And then, of course, just the regular vanity. But as we come back through the room, we had paid for a standard room. The wonderful woman at the check-in just nicely upgraded us for free. And what the upgrade meant is that we have this incredible view with a walkout balcony. We are able to see all the way to Quincy Market, Faneuil Hall, the old State House, looking there at Government Center. And so it was just a really, really wonderful room. And then it was time for us to do a little sightseeing and get a little food in us. So we went to the Old North Church, and we were actually able to see them doing restoration work, restoring some of the old paintings. And we were also able to go into the crypt, which is the first time that has been open to the public. And so that was really neat getting to see those aspects of the church. We next went just down the street to Bova's, and this bakery is amazing. Every single thing in this bakery looked fantastic, but the real reason that we came here was to get a Florentine cannoli, which you will see us eating in a bit. Honestly, I could have just stayed in this bakery all day eating food.
That's really good.
That is really good.
Now, while we ate Bova's out on the street, we went ahead and got some pastries from Modern, which you are seeing here. And they do have a wide array of pastries. This is also the only of the 3 bakeries that we went to that had a little dine-in area where you could eat there. We did take these back to the hotel, so you see the mini chocolate chip and mini pistachio cannolis, as well as a white chocolate truffle. And you're going to see us taste the Modern pastries next.
It's nowhere near as good as the first one that we had with boba.
Shell's not as good. The ricotta's lumpy.
Mm-hmm.
In comparison. It's a lot heavier too.
Yeah.
Which might just mean there's more actual ricotta, but yeah.
Boba, like it had a lighter cream, it was sort of vanilla-y a little bit. The shell was amazing.
Shell, yeah. Yeah, well, that was also a Florentine.
Yeah. This is just
Apples to asteroids, but
yeah, I'd skip Modern.
The third cannoli in our day 1 cannoli taste test came from Mike's Pastry. All 3 of these bakeries are very close together, so we picked them all up at one time. But again, as you can see, Mike's Pastry has a variety of baked goods and sweets. Normally it is extremely crowded, but we went middle of the day on Thursday and got 2 Florentine cannolis and a glazed donut, because for some reason Blake wanted a glazed donut as well.
this is the Mike's Pastry Florentine, and you can see it's much more,
Latticey?
yeah, I was gonna say holy. But yeah, it's, I don't know. There's a lot more void in it than there was at Boba's. Otherwise, they look similar. I think the ricotta in this one's a lot like thicker because it's a lot heavier.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to eat some of the ricotta first before I can even get to the Florentine. Ricotta's not as good as boba. I do love a Florentine though. If you've never had Florentines, they're cookies that are made out of nuts and a booty load of sugar. They're very good. And honey, traditional. So like, Honey Nut Cheerios are really supposed to taste like Florentine, like that. That's sort of what they're going for. It's very good. Maybe you can get a look at it here. I would say that the Boba's is better. However, this one is more... The Florentine at Boba's is different. It's smoother. I think they're different Florentine styles. This one is definitely good. Modern's was hot garbage. This one's still pretty good though. Oh. I love a Florentine.
After our cannoli adventure, we went to the Bell in Hand for lunch. I got the hot lobster roll and fries, Blake got the mac and cheese, and this is the longest operating pub in the US.
These might be my favorite fries. They're just the right size, the right shape. I think you season a little bit more, but I really don't need it. And they're cooked so well. They're crisp, they're not soggy. They're kind of big, and they're really soft in the middle, nice and pillowy.
After our late lunch, we then headed to Rimowa because I wanted to look at their aluminum check-in luggage. So here you see me with the Trunk Plus, and then in a second I will switch to the trunk, which you now see here. These were very large and bulky, but I also looked at the check-in large as well for an option. I did get a suitcase, and I will be showing that in an unboxing that's coming up next week. But after that, we went to a Christmas market, and gotta say, wasn't an overly Christmassy Christmas market. We were kind of disappointed in it. There were a couple of neat shops that were there though. You see this one, I will have linked down below. They did all sorts of different illustrations, and a lot of them were luxury themed. Blake found a cheese vendor, and then we also found this place that makes stuff from alpaca wool. But the exciting thing for me was finding the F1 arcade. We got to do some simulator racing, which was super, super fun, and then ended our day spending a couple of minutes by the fire in the hotel lobby. Now, when we went to do day 2, we took the commuter train out to Concord to meet my family. We had lunch at the Colonial Inn, which the crab cakes there are absolutely delicious, would highly recommend. And then we just spent a lot of time walking around in Concord and just enjoying the historic sites that are there. They have quite a few memorials and monuments up for various people. This particular cemetery was a cemetery used during the colonial times, but they also have Sleepy Hollow Cemetery here. And we actually spent a couple of hours just walking through this cemetery because it is massive, but also had so many unique gravestones in it and quite a few famous people as well, including Ralph Waldo Emerson. And so it was just a very enjoyable time walking around through the cemetery, which might sound odd, but it was very peaceful for a walk. After we left the cemetery, we walked on to see where the first shots were fired in the American Revolution, and they have just redone the Old North Bridge where this occurred with new grass, new benches. They've rebuilt the bridge, and so it's a very, very nice area to go to currently, and it will certainly be very nice come springtime once all of the grass has grown up. At this point, it was the end of our day, but we did stop into a couple of boutiques there at the train station while waiting on the train to come. And then for dinner, we went to Quincy Market, and you can see the big tree that they set up here that they are working on. And when you go into Quincy Market, it's basically just a giant food hall that's full of all types of different sorts of food. Blake and I went with some Japanese food for our first round of dinner, but you're also going to see that Blake got a couple more items as well.
We're good.
Go ahead. Okay.
I don't think they cooked this pasta. It's chewy.
What happened to it's pretty good?
I was trying to be nice. Like maybe it was just the first bite. I'm still eating it though.
Now, something to know about me is that I do not particularly like to be out in the dark. I also don't particularly like to be out in the cold, but after being at Quincy Market, I still wanted dessert, and nothing seemed as good as one of those Bova's cannolis. So we went back out to the north side to get some more cannolis for me, and got to enjoy a wonderful walk through the park, as well as finding that cute little bookshop that you saw.
The Florentine cannoli, the creme brulee cannoli.
Creme brulee, which honestly it looks like it's just a cannoli with Heath bar. So I'm kind of interested into what this is going to do.
And then we've got the delicious lobster tail. Turn the lobster tail around.
This is a mini
Yes, that is the
tail.
small lobster tail.
Yes.
Because I'm being reasonable with my desserts.
You could say that.
This is definitely, to me, the best cannoli in Boston.
You should try this.
Okay.
So you get some of the regular shell, not just the corn. I can smell the Florentine on your breath, and it tastes good in my nose. The ricotta is much better.
It's such a light ricotta.
And it's funny, but it's not a cream. It's not a whipped cream. Anything like that. Like, it's still absolutely a ricotta. And it's not airy either. It's just not stodgy. So, it's really good.
And, like, when it comes to the Florentine shell, I don't remember if we said this yesterday or not, but, like, it has this, like, smoky flavor to it with, like, nut and honey sort of underscoring. Because, like, that is what it is, basically.
If the nuts haven't already been roasted, they sort
of... Like, it definitely has a roasted nut taste to it, and it's so good.
Yeah. Creme brulee cannoli from Bova. It was good. I didn't get any creme brulee from it. But it was good. I don't know that I would order it over just a regular cannoli with chocolate chips or pistachios.
Just order this one.
Yeah,
get the Florentine.
Just get the Florentine. You will not regret it. And I will say, the Florentine at Mike's is also good. However,
it's not nearly as good.
Bova's ricotta is head and shoulders above. Bova's ricotta is head and shoulders above Mike's or Modern. Don't even go to Modern.
Yeah, don't go to Modern. So here's the way that I look at it. Mike's elevates the cannoli with the Florentine. Then Bova's elevates the Florentine cannoli.
Day 3 got started with that lobster tail for my breakfast, and then a little bit of sightseeing. So we went to the old State House. Back in colonial times, the King's Governor would have been here with the harbor behind him. So you walked in and were looking across to England, but then the King's Governor was looking up at the King's seal to remind him of who really held the power. And this was a really interesting exhibit that they had going on at the old State House, talking about the various times of civil unrest in the United States, and specifically looking at property destruction that has occurred. We then went to the church, which was another one of the meeting houses. So this was used by the colonists for their meetings, and just a really beautiful church that is actually still very much used today. And that was the thing about a lot of these buildings, is that they are very much in use today, even though for us they're a very historic place. We also saw the USS Constitution, known as Old Ironsides, and it was really neat getting to go onto this ship. They obviously have some modern day things, but they tried to give you a feel of what this ship would have looked like at the time that it first launched. And this is a very important ship historically when looking at naval battles. You can also raise the flag on the USS Constitution if you buy a flag from them. And because it was Saturday, the oldest operating market in the US was going on, and so we were able to walk through that as well, which is by happenstance right by our hotel, which, as you saw earlier, is right in the middle of everything historic. But it was time for the real reason that we came to Boston this trip. And so we are walking down this alley to Brico's, which has a bakery as well as a deli attached to it.
All right, Blake, so tell us why we really came to Boston.
The chicken parm sandwich. Right here. That's it.
All right, dig in.
Oh, I will. That's good. Per usual. What are you calling me for? Get something.
So while we were eating our sandwich, we were able to watch them actually making the fresh pasta for the restaurant, and then we walked downstairs to the bakery to look at those delicious baked goods. And then following our lunch, we took the T across the river into Cambridge, which is where MIT as well as Harvard are located, and just spent some time walking around MIT as my grandfather is a graduate from there. And so just wanted to show Blake this beautiful campus, which was absolutely stunning and has some of the most spectacular views of the city of Boston that you can get anywhere. We did get to have a glimpse of the Naval Museum, although the whole thing was not open. And then we went to MIT's museum, which we actually ended up spending a couple of hours in this museum, which we had not expected. There were a lot of just interesting and thought-provoking experiments that had been laid out and displays that had been laid out for us, which was really neat to get to see what they are actually doing at the university. We then went over to Boston University, where we watched the fictional Sudbury Blue Dogs, who are the actors from the show Shoresy, play against the Bruins alumni team in a charity hockey game. So it was just a really, really fun experience, and this was the first time that Blake or I had gotten to go to any sort of a hockey game. Even though we live in Nashville, we've never been to the Predators. So we did get to have a lot of fun watching this. And because it was a charity game and people were there to see old players and see TV players, everyone was just having a really, really great time and enjoying the night. And that was a really great thing to get to experience at a sporting event that you normally don't see in the US. I will also say that all of the players who were from the TV show were really nice. You can see Goody there blowing me a kiss, as well as we got to take pictures with several of the players who they just went around and they were taking pictures with every single fan who stayed after the game ended. And I just thought that was really, really nice and something they definitely did not have to do. Now, for our final breakfast in Boston, we went down to the hotel's restaurant. I had blueberry pancakes and bacon. Blake had the American breakfast. And then we did stop in at Starbucks, and I just thought that this coffee pot that was actually blowing steam out of it was really pretty neat. And then we spent the rest of the day just walking around the city, enjoying the architecture, enjoying the wonderful weather. There you can see the current state house for the state of Massachusetts. And we are here in the Boston Commons. We walked all through the Commons, all through the parks. This is the Make Way for Ducklings statue. Although we saw no ducks, we did see a lot of Canadian geese. And like I said, it was just really beautiful weather. And then we did go and look at the luxury shops because they are right there. And so here we have Tiffany's Christmas tree that was up. I wanted to take a look at some of the Tiffany hardware pieces. Although I've got to say, while they were neat, none of them really felt like me or my style or things that I couldn't live without. So I don't think that you'll be seeing any sort of a Tiffany unboxing coming up. Cartier was already all decked out in the lights that you saw there. And then we went into Loro Piana. And I will say, everything that I tried on in that store was gorgeous. and was amazing, but they are so ridiculously overpriced. We then went into the Restoration Hardware, which was in the old Natural Science Museum for Boston. And as we were continuing our walk, we stumbled across an open house. So that's what you're seeing here is a 800 square feet, 1+ bedroom for $1.325 million. And it was really nice just walking around seeing everyone. Most people still had out just gorgeous pumpkin displays on their porches. We walked through the Beacon Hill area, found this beautiful little shop that actually had really great pricing on furniture and on Christmas decor. And this store felt way more Christmassy than the Christmas market that we went to on day one did. So I was really glad that we got to stop in here. But part of the reason why we walked to Beacon Hill was to head down this little alleyway into a little bookshop. And this is the Beacon Hill bookshop. I've had a couple of different books sent to me from this bookshop from author signings of book series that I was reading. And so I just really wanted to get to go to this bookshop in person, and they did have a lot of great books. Everyone was in a super great mood. There was a little cafe downstairs. And then we walked up actual Beacon Hill. Boston was initially made up of several hills, and Beacon Hill, what remains of it, is the only true hill that is left in Boston. And then when we went to the airport, we ate at Legal Seafood. Legal Seafood is going to be a Boston establishment, so it's not weird to eat seafood at the airport at all. My crab cake was delicious, so was my Boston cream pie.
So going to end the vlog here now that we are at the airport. I did do a quick shower and change of clothes because we had a late checkout from the hotel, which I highly recommend doing if you are doing a late afternoon or evening flight anywhere that you go. But I absolutely love being in Boston. Boston is a city that I always have a hard time leaving because I do enjoy my time here so much. And I hope that you have enjoyed coming along with me on this trip. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!